what I think we'll do, I could spend the session really getting into talking about the neuroscience of the stress response and nervous system regulation and why the practices that we work with are useful for well-being and for stress reduction. But we don't have loads of time. And I feel like for all of us in life at the moment, we are overwhelmed. Now, if you're not feeling overwhelmed, you guys think, are you in the borders with the tats off weather in your minds on the Fandaby Rosy Friday? Um, I'm sure we all have our moments. And wherever you're at today, I guess what I'm really hoping to create over the next sort of 20 minutes or so is just a little bit of space to move out of thinking, um, to let go of all of the activity that goes on in our mind all of the time about things that are happening or going to happening, have been happening, could be happening, did happen, and just take some time to rest, to perhaps recharge our batteries a little, and think about observing something within ourselves and our environment that is different to thinking. These are really useful practices for me. I use them in my own life regularly. We also work in prisons and psychiatric hospitals and sort of patient populations, and with a lot of addiction services and services for people affected by trauma. Introducing the idea of some of these practices as a means of supporting and promoting physical and mental health. And like I said, we also do quite a lot of work with NHS staff, and nursing is my background. I have spent a lot of time in healthcare environments, and I always really want to acknowledge in these sessions that I don't come to this place saying a bit of yoga is going to solve all your problems. And I think it's really important to recognize that, this is a practice that can be supportive in our life, but it doesn't replace the sort of systemic things that we hope to change in the environments that we work in. But I've found them really, really useful, not just as an individual, but also as working as part of teams to support and promote well-being, both in and out of work. And I really love that idea that even though some of the big stuff feels really challenging and like we don't know how to fix it, what we can do is create little micro-organisations within our teams and departments that support and promote well-being. And that's one of the things that I've seen time and time again in healthcare settings, is staff who care about the importance of well-being working together to support that and promote it in their little environments. So that gives you just a little bit of context as to why we're going to do what we're going to do. We'll do a little bit of moving this afternoon on the chair, but mostly we're going to just be thinking about creating some space and time to breathe and to rest. So you can find a comfortable place. You've all got your cameras off, which is absolutely fine. Maybe just finding a place where your feet can rest on the floor. And you might start to bring your attention to the space around you. So if you've got your eyes open, you can look at the space around you. Your eyes are closed, then maybe just sensing your environment around you, noticing how your feet feel on the ground. Perhaps beginning to create an opportunity to notice how you are in this moment. Perhaps beginning to bring our attention a little bit more to the present moment instead of being in the mind thinking about what has happened or what could happen. You might start to bring a little bit of length through your spine, almost as if the crown of your head could lengthen towards the ceiling. And your shoulders might drop away from your ears. Be imagining a little bit of space between each of the vertebrae in your spine. Perhaps noticing any tension in your face or jaw, and if it feels possible for you, then you might let that go. Perhaps creating a little bit of space between your teeth, across your forehead. Almost as if your whole body could be supported by the surface that you're resting on. Be letting go of any tension in your fingers or your toes. From here, you might begin to notice how it feels to breathe in and out. For the moment, not changing the breath, just noticing your inhale and your exhale. And if you'd like to, you could try bringing one hand to your chest and one to your tummy, to the bottom of your rib cage. You're noticing the point of contact of your hands and your chest, your torso. How might it be for you if in this moment you could take a little pause here to acknowledge that you're doing your best with the resource that you have, and also acknowledging that the people around you work with, that you support, are also doing their best with the resource that they have. And perhaps that too is enough. And seeing how it could be to meet ourselves with a little bit of kindness in this moment, and sometimes that can feel really hard. Perhaps just taking a moment to ask yourself the question, what would I say to my friend in this situation? Maybe a word or a sensation arises for you as you bring that sense of how it could be to interact with yourself in the way that you might with a friend or someone that you care about. You might start to lengthen and deepen your inhale and your exhale. Noticing any tension that's crept into your face or jaw and seeing if you can let that go. And then when you're ready, we can inhale together through our nose. Maybe exhaling with a sigh. You can exhale through your mouth if you'd like to. And we're just going to begin to take your shoulders in some circles. So we're not going to do loads of moving. It's lunchtime, but maybe just an opportunity to start to notice any tension or discomfort around your shoulders. You can go in one direction, go in the other direction. If you'd like to add a little bit on here, you can bring your fingertips to your shoulders and take your elbows in some circles. You're working with your breath here, so you might inhale as you move your elbows towards each other and exhale as you take them away from each other. You can change direction anytime you'd like. It's your yoga practice, not mine. And then when you're ready, maybe dropping your arms back down and perhaps beginning to take the top of your head in some circles, almost as if you're drawing a circle on the ceiling. So not rolling your neck as such, but moving the top of your head in some circles. You might notice a little bit of crunching or clicking around there. Again, you might move in one direction and then change direction to go the other way. Maybe letting your left ear drop towards your left shoulder and stretching out through the side of your neck. You might notice if your shoulder wants to come up towards your ear and see if you might drop it away, perhaps extending the arm on the side that you're stretching through your neck on. Breathing into that sense of stretching. You can make your inhale and your exhale as long and as deep as is possible for you today. Practice with your eyes open or closed. You're ready to changing direction, so you're stretching out through the other side of your neck. dropping your shoulder away from your ear. So if you notice this happening, seeing if you can drop your shoulder, creating space in your body. You're ready, coming all the way back up to sit. And we're going to begin just to move into some arching and rounding of the spine. And this is a really useful thing that you can do anytime at your desk. So as you inhale, you might imagine that your shoulder blades draw towards each other. You lift your chin and extend your arms back out behind you, inhaling deeply. And as you exhale, you can press your shoulder blades away from each other, maybe crossing your arms, or if you want a bit more of a stretch, you can reach your arms out in front of you. Arching and rounding your spines, creating a little bit of movement. Seeing if you can notice when your mind goes off to thinking and just bring it back to the action, moving and breathing. And when you're ready, coming all the way back up to sit and maybe taking your upper body in some circles. So really sort of moving on your chair a little bit as if you're taking your torso in some circles. You're drawing your belly in towards your spine. Might be a little bit of clicking or clunking going on there. You can go one way and then you can go the other way. And then when you're ready, coming all the way back to sit, let's reach up with our arms. These are called sun breaths. You can inhale as you reach up with your arms, looking to your thumbs. Exhaling, coming back down again, seeing if you can keep awareness in the present moment with movement and breath. Something different than thinking. Inhaling, lengthening through the sides of your body. Exhaling, coming down. Let's do one more together. And as you bring your hands back down, coming to rest on your chair, you might once more bring one hand to your chest and one to your tummy. You're releasing any tension from your face or jaw again. Space across your forehead. And I'd like you to just imagine the sense that you could breathe down in your body, so that perhaps bringing both hands either side of your belly button. As you inhale, you could imagine that you've got a little lung either side of your navel, and as you inhale, your belly rises, and you exhale, it releases. Let's take a few minutes here, breathing in, expanding. The belly rises, the ribcage expands. Exhaling, releasing. Your belly draws back in towards your spine. Slowing and lengthening your inhale and your exhale. And if it feels possible for you this afternoon, then perhaps making your exhale or your out breath a little bit longer than your inhale. If breathing feels uncomfortable for any reason, you can come back to tapping your feet or moving a little. It's absolutely fine. But if breathing's feeling okay, then maybe staying with the sense of inhale, expanding, exhaling, releasing, breathing out for a little longer than you leave in, and breathe in. If it helps you, you can even say to yourself, breathing in calm as you inhale. Breathing out calm as you exhale. Slowing and steadying your breath in your body. Full awareness in this moment. Almost as if you could allow yourself this time for your batteries to recharge. The mind wanders off to thinking, which is what our minds do. Bringing your awareness back, breathing in, ready, you might once more bring one hand to your chest and one to your tummy. Perhaps acknowledging yourself in this moment exactly as you are. Acknowledging all the parts of you that make you who you are, that are different to your roles, responsibility, your job. Acknowledging yourself in this moment, and that you are doing your best with the resource that you have, and that is enough. Let's inhale together through our nose. And then exhaling, if you'd like to, you can exhale through your mouth with a sigh. You're taking a little bit of a stretch out. If you want to, you can interlace your fingers and extend the palm of your hands towards the ceiling. Lengthening and reaching, and then exhaling, releasing, coming back down. Noticing how you are as you come back into the room. So maybe you want to keep your eyes closed for a moment. If they're closed, you're feeling your feet on the floor once more. Perhaps noticing how you are now compared to how you felt at the beginning. Maybe you feel the same, maybe you feel different. Just noticing how it is to move awareness away from thinking to something different in your thoughts. And we can never switch the mind off, but I often think of this as taking a little bit of refuge from our brains when we feel overwhelmed. Really useful practice.